Friends, LIC initial share sale sees a strong demand from anchor investors. Only anchor investors are the key investors which give momentum to the LIC IPO. And LIC IPO, the strong big bang IPO, which was first projected as 65,000 crore to 90,000 crore, is now contemplated for a mere humble 21,000 crore with 1.1 embedded value. The hype, everything has gone. Whatever may be the projections, today they want to bring it out and roll the matter and roll it successfully, and to see that they don't become a laughing stock. And so they have brought this LIC IPO, and in order to avoid seeking fresh approvals from SEBI, now they have rolled it out before May 12th, so that things are all set in motion. Now what they say is, LIC initial share sees strong demand from anchor investors. So the strong demand is only for 21,000 crore LIC IPO. If was it for 60,000 crore IPO, it would not have been so strong. That is the reason they have made it strong. And things are becoming tough each time due to the war, and what they contemplated is becoming hard. And so only the investors, anchor investors, appear to be the GIC, Norwegian other institute. So I read it from here, please. The government has set the price band for the initial share sale of state-run LIC at 902 to 949 a share, with a 60 rupees discount for policy holders and 45 for employees. Retail investors, policy holders and employees will be able to invest rupees 2 lakh each, and the categories will be mutually exclusive. That is to say, each person can apply in 3 categories and to a maximum of 6 lakhs, as will be explained in a different episode. So the things are made simple, but the people should come forward to fill the papers and keep it in motion. LIC share sale sees a strong demand from anchor investors. LIC's IPO will be the first to offer a 3.5% stake to the public, lower than the 5% regulatory minimum stipulated by SEBI. So one after another seeking relaxations from SEBI. So it is a government company and the promoter is the President of India, and they seek every relaxation. So the SEBI says it must be 5%, relaxed to 3.5%, brought down. So as a government company, it is having, or it is given lot of SOPs, and that alone may lead this company to turn out to be a bad company after getting listed. So seeking relaxations may not be the correct way or procedure. In case of private companies, the same rules will be very strictly adhered. Whereas in government company, they play and play and play and make it literally waste. So I read it from here. 13,000 crore worth of investments commitments from anchor investors, more than twice the value of shares offered to such investors. LIC's IPO will be the first in the country to offer 3.5 stake to the public. This is the first in the country seeking relaxations to present an IPO of only 3.5%, which may be a large lion's share and a big IPO, but still after seeking relaxation to present 3.5% of its stake. LIC will need to meet the minimum shareholding norms. While there is no ambiguity on the percentage share of equity held by the government that needs to be taken to the markets under the norms, which will remain 25%, the government will seek exemption on the timeline 5 years, as it feels that meeting the equity safe requirements will put undue pressure on the markets. So they have to bring it within 5 years and another exemption up to 10 years contemplated by government, seeking relaxations, giving relaxations, giving relaxations. Okay, keep on giving, but you are turning to be a listed company. The boom or the strength or the clout that you will see now may not be visible after getting listed. You have a great stake, you have to bring it down up to 75%. And whether you are going to seek a relaxation for that also, how long you can keep on seeking relaxations? Just because people are getting some money after listing, they may be happy today, but the government other conditions they will be coming in and you can no longer play with relaxations. That needs to be taken to the markets under the norms, which will remain 25%. The government will seek exemption of time limit of 5 years, as it feels that the meeting in the equity sale requirement will put undue pressure on the markets. The government's stake sale in India's largest insurer is still much lower than the least 5% sale it had initially planned. Crimping demand for LIC shares. Waning investor demand after Russia's invasion of Ukraine has also squeezed the valuations. LIC sold 21.7 million insurance policies in the year ended 31st March, 3.54% more than the previous fiscal, boosting its market share to 74.6 in terms of policies sold. So even they are showing only the bigger figures, the safer figures, and telling that LIC is so good, very good and everything, but it is turning out to be a company with relaxations. That alone is enough to indicate that it may take a wrong route. LIC IPO, Norwegian Wealth Fund, GIC, SBI lead anchor investors. for 21,000 crore for the anchor investor portion, which was subscribed on May 2nd. The Norwegian Wealth Fund, GIC and SBA have come up as the first members. Anchor investors are high profile institutional investors that are allotted shares before the subscription opens for retail and other investors, and have to commit to holding their shares for a certain period after listing. LIC's offering is set to open for other investors on May 4th and will close on May 9th. Norwegian Wealth Fund, Norges Bank Investment Management and Singapore Sovereign Wealth Fund GIC have subscribed to the anchor book alongside other global funds. Domestic mutual fund houses such as HDFC Mutual Fund, SBI, ICICI and Kotak have also come in as anchor investors, the source said. Over 20 investors had expressed interest in subscribing to the anchor book, two other banking sources said. So this is the anchor portion, which was just opened on May 2nd and subscribed satisfactorily, so that the commencement is good. One more news we have here. Paytm Money takes LIC IPO to Kirana stores. Places QR codes at stores for investors to create demat accounts and place bids. Ahead of 21,000 crore mega LIC IPO, Paytm Money, a wholly owned subsidiary of Paytm, is set to take this largest public offering in India to retail stores. The discount broker has placed QR codes at Kirana stores across the country to introduce the common man to the power of investing with free lifetime demat accounts. So even they are helping the retail investors at the Kirana stores also to subscribe for the LIC. So there are many challenges even the LIC IPO has to face. All that is shown as glittery, all that is shown as very attractive is not going to be the same. As I tell you, as of now, LIC can be called as the duck that was laying golden eggs. Duck laying golden eggs. We do not know what the future of LIC will be after getting listed as listed company. One thread I read here. In the future, they may be obliged to inject additional funds into IDBI Bank. The IDBI Bank, which is having the deep connection with LIC, they may be obliged to inject additional funds into IDBI Bank. That will be a problem. And secondly, they confront tremendous competition, and if they are incapable to compete effectively, their business may suffer great. So they are going to compete with AXA Life, Bajaj and many other Tata and many other private insurers, and they are already digitally savvy and digitally good, and they have also reached out to majority of the urban investors. All the people they caught already, and they may not have reached up to rural levels, but after the IPO necessarily the competition will be on their face. They have to hold every digital equipment and go to the person, convince him, take policies and strengthen the LIC, which it is not already prepared to. That will be a great threat and it will reflect in their daily businesses. If they are unable to secure regulatory permissions or maintain their present regulatory approvals or licenses, their businesses may suffer. So initially when they have started the LIC IPO, the first exemption and first the limitation, they wanted to roll out the LIC and the last date is May 12th. So hurriedly they made up all the investors to roll it out immediately in the present exigencies, to see that they are not again going to SEBI for seeking fresh approval with fresh updates. So they have to keep everything on time and they have to forget that they are a government entity seeking relaxations. They have to finish things by time and keep the licenses fit and eligible to roll out next follow-on FPOs or whatever. They cannot keep on telling excuses or cross time limits. That is what they are telling here. If they are unable to secure regulatory permissions or maintain their present regulatory approvals or licenses, their businesses may suffer. So the private LIs, the private insurers are not now competing them, but after listed position, the private competitors will also be face to face and giving direct challenges. And if they fail in time and if they seek permission or relaxation, they also will seek, the private operators will also seek permission. So SEBI will have a great headache. So it cannot take any relaxation in terms of regulatory approvals. They are subject to several sorts of operational risks, the development of which could have detrimental effect on the business. Operational risks will be high because what you had been doing it on a sit back condition will not be seen from tomorrow. After listing, you have to run, because your performance will be regularly read on the stock price. If the regulatory requirement of 5% every year has to be met, then it will be like doing mega IPO each year. So each year you have to meet the demand of regulatory requirement of reducing the stake by 5%. Today you have started with 3% even initially also. Then it will be like doing a mega IPO each year. Retail investors, employees and policy holders can invest 2 lakhs each, and the categories will be mutually exclusive. If the retail investor is also an employee and a policy holder, he can invest up to 6 lakhs in the IPO. Market lot minimum requirement amount will be 14,235 and maximum amount will be 210 equity shares, that is 14 lots with 1,99,290 as the maximum amount. So retail investors, you get prepared either for 14,235 or 1,99,290. This amount must be readily available and blocked in your ASBA account. We have been waiting for the IPO, and now the IPO is almost rolled out by May 4th. Money must be ready. The minimum money must be 14,235 for retail investors, and the total maximum amount can be 1,99,290 minimum, maximum per one category. In the 3 categories, if you file in the 3 categories, then it will be running to something 6 lakhs. Get ready, keep the money ready. Don't seek relaxations. IPO is here to test us. The goal of the government is disinvestment targets, reaching disinvestment targets. That is first goal. They will tell 1,000 things and get the money and reach their goals. The merchant says 1,000 things to sell his products, and we should be careful. And the government has the responsibility of disinvestment receipts and not disappointing the retailers who are found in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns of India. A discount of Rs 45 per equity share will be offered to the retail and eligible employee category. About 22.13 crore shares IPO, of which 0.025 is reserved for employees, 0.35% for policyholders. Beyond this, 35% of shares reserved for retail investors. LIC IPO may suck out liquidity. Nevertheless, investors should be cautious and not assume all IPOs will hit the bull's eye. This is the bull's eye. Suppose we see this is the bull's eye, and IPO may hit the bull's eye. IP may hit the bullseye and sometimes it may miss hitting the bullseye, and if it is not hitting the bullseye, understand who will be at. Nevertheless, investors should be cautious not to assume all IPs will hit the bullseye. If it falls on a different spot, things will be different. The year financial year 2021 was very good and people were very happy about it because it garnered some 60,000 crores totally. But the year 2022, though active, is not so bright. UBERRI MAE FIDEI. This is the duty of both the insurer and the policy holder to act honestly toward each other. This is the duty of both the insurer and the policy holder to act honestly toward each other. States that insurer and the insured must disclose all material facts before the policy inception. So, here also comes in the UBERRI MAE FIDEI concept, which is the greatest concept in LIC, that is insurance business. UBERRI MAE FIDEI. The business line gives a very great account of UBERRI MAE FIDEI while singing great about the IPO. It also says UBERRI MAE FIDEI should be followed. What is UBERRI MAE FIDEI? Government people are only running to meet their fiscal budgets, fiscal targets. What about us? We are not getting it. We will go into a next thing. So watch for this week. LIC. Insurance behemoth profits have steadily increased in the last 5 fiscals. After weeks of waiting, the IPO of the country's largest insurance company will hit the markets on Wednesday for the general public, that is May 4th. It will remain open for bidders till May 9th. The price band of the IPO has been fixed at Rs 902 to 949 per equity shares. Policyholders and employees of the company will receive a discount of Rs 60 and 45 per share respectively. The government, which wholly owns LIC, expects to raise 21,000 crore by selling 3.5% of its stake in the company. This would be the country's largest such sale. The insurance behemoth is valued at 6 trillion. The IPO is also expected to bring new investors to the market. Experts from the financial services companies expect a surge in demat accounts openings because LIC's IPO. This also may not be government's only move to privatize LIC, as the company had hinted at further disinvestment. However, such details are yet to be made public. LIC is coming out, we are purchasing. It's good we sing about LIC, and we should also look after the risks involved. That the risks may be of the government, but we will face the brunt of everything. Listing of LIC on bourses, not size important. Government sources indicate that the IPO may hit the market next fortnight, price to be finalized. A tough call. There are estimates that LIC's market valuation would be about 2 or 3 times its embedded value. However, the government feels that the company of the magnitude of LIC, such a high multiplier to embedded value, may not be correct. Further, the government managers want issue price to be fixed in a way that on listing day there is an upside to the stock. The official also mentioned that the Ukraine-Russian conflict withdrawal by foreign portfolio investors from emerging economies like India and the rising global inflation and the interest rates are some of the key factors weighing on the decision-making process of LIC IPO. There are two options: postpone it or hit the market. It will be a tough call to decide whether they go ahead with the retail domestic investor demand or wait for the geopolitical tension to ease and FIIs to return to market. So they have done it, and now they are rolling out. Now the point is the embedded value. There are estimates that LIC's market valuation would be about 2 or 3 times of embedded value. However, the government feels that the company of the magnitude of LIC, such a high multiplier to embedded value. So now decide, now it is the embedded value is taken as 1.1. Earlier it was 2.3 or 2.9, which took them to very large valuations. But I don't know, to see that the LIC IPO is passed off and fared successfully. They have brought it down to 1.1. Some people even suggest that 1.1 valuation is tricky or suspicious. But we have to be satisfied and sing great about the LIC because it is coming out, and things will be getting known sooner or later.